Who would have known that Doddridge County would be home to the designer of the great state seal, West Virginia, who, by the way, was French? I'm Wayne Worth, and you're watching On the Road in West Virginia, our 55 counties, Doddridge County. Long before West Virginia becoming a state was even thought of, the area of what we today call Doddridge County was a vast wilderness roamed by the natives. Matter of fact, this region was so isolated that it took right up into the start of the 19th century before any permanent settlement would take hold. Now, the completion of the Northwestern Turnpike in the late 1830s, which by the way is today US Route 50, played a significant role in the growth and prosperity of the county and brought more settlers to the region. One such settler was Ephraim B., who settled in what we call Doddridge County today when he was 19 years old. Ephraim B. was quite a dynamic character in his time. He was a blacksmith who provided the hardware to build the covered bridge in West Union, an innkeeper, a politician, and was even involved with the Underground Railroad. Mr. B even started his own fraternal organization, which somehow became popular amongst the gold mining communities out west. And it has also been said that he won a statewide contest as being the ugliest person in West Virginia and was awarded a pocket knife. Now by 1845, the land that we call Doddridge County today officially became Doddridge County, and the first court was held at Nathan Davis's home, who at that time was a very prominent dude in the town of West Union. However, it didn't take long for Nathan to realize that holding court in your living room definitely gets old after a while, as he donated 1 acre of his own land to the construction of a new courthouse. Along with the turnpike, the 1850s would bring the Northwestern Virginia Railroad, which would eventually become the B&O, and as a result, the county's population would double to around 5,200 by 1860. Now, legend has it that the Underground Railroad also passed through the county by way of a place called Jaco's Tavern, which was a stagecoach stop outside of West Union prior to the Civil War. The story goes that at night, the tavern's owner, Luke Jaco, would harbor runaway slaves in a nearby cave as they continued their dangerous and courageous journey to the Ohio River and to freedom. Now, the Civil War pretty much halted further development in the county, as most of the efforts now were devoted on protecting the B&O Railroad. The most notable skirmishes in Doddridge County during the Civil War took place during the Jones and Bowdoin Raid, as the Confederate forces' main goal was to disrupt service on the B&O Railroad. Now, you have to understand that whoever controlled the B&O Railroad pretty much controlled the supply of troops, weapons, food, and ultimately controlled the war. As for the raid on Doddridge County, after burning both the railroad trestles in Smithburg, the Confederate forces even tried to venture down to West Union and burn the trestle there, but they were met with Union troops who were equipped with a cannon and long-range muskets. What ensued was a brief exchange with some big boy ammunition, and as a result, the Confederate raiders retreated and continued their campaign into Ritchie County. Now, big changes took place in Doddridge County economically after the Civil War, and it all started right here in Center Point in 1892, or should I say it all started directly underneath where I'm standing. Center Point was where Doddridge County's first oil pool was discovered, and since this discovery, the county's main economic driver has been oil and gas. Now, places like Smithburg and West Union would thrive from the oil and gas boom of the late 1800s and early 1900s. However, the Great Depression brought a significant decline in oil and gas production, which brought an end to the first boom. Doddridge County would see more booms and busts in oil and gas production throughout its history, though, with the second boom during the 1960s and the most recent boom in 2013. And with US 50 being a 4-lane highway and becoming a vital east-west route connecting I-77 in Parkersburg with I-79 in Clarksburg, booms in the industry will have the potential to bring even more opportunities to the area. One of West Virginia's hidden treasures that is not talked about too much, unless you live near it, is Middle Island Creek. Now, some of you are probably like, okay Wayne, other than the best muskie fishing in the state, why is Middle Island Creek such a treasure? And the answer is simple. It's West Virginia's longest creek. Middle Island Creek doesn't really have a storied history other than its contribution to local industry, its great muskie fishing, and unfortunately a deadly flood in 1950. It all happened on the night of June 25, 1950, when a storm swept through the county, dumping several inches of rain in a matter of hours. The runoff from the tributaries of Middle Island Creek was so fierce that the creek itself became a deadly torrent. Even the 107-year-old covered bridge in West Union was destroyed. Prior to the recent flood of 2016, which devastated many communities in our state, the Middle Allen Creek flood of 1950 has been said to be one of the worst flash floods in our state's history. But nothing could replace the lives that were lost that night, especially in the town of Smithburg, where a memorial still stands today of the victims who perished. Now, we couldn't end this segment without talking about one of the most notable people Doddridge County ever encountered, who not only literally founded this community where I'm standing today, but was also the designer of our state's Great Seal. Joseph H. Disdebar was a French immigrant who made his way to Parkersburg in 1846. Shortly after, he would move to Doddridge County, where he would start a German-Swiss colony called St. Clair, which was named after his first wife who died giving birth. Disdebar was also a huge supporter of West Virginia becoming its own state during the Civil War, and after our inception into the Union in 1863, he would become commissioned to design the state's Great Seal. Now, Disdebar was a visionary and recognized the potential in our state's natural resources. That is why when you see the state seal, you see both a farmer and a miner. The seal also contains the motto, Montani Semper Liberi. Translation, mountaineers are always free. Who would have known that some cool French dude who settled way out in the middle of nowhere in Doddridge County would be the person to design a seal that represents the very spirit of the place we love and call home. I'm Wayne Worth, and until next time, always remember what we value and hold important to our lives today came from events that happened yesterday, and it's when we begin to understand the events of yesterday that we fully embrace today, which makes tomorrow become less of a mystery.